Hello there guys, UltraGamer64 here, and today I am here to give my thoughts on an extremely good movie. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Last night, I went to see Passengers, and for any of you that do not know, Passengers is essentially a story that revolves around one person, Chris Pratt, waking up in a kind of a spaceship thing. It is carrying 5,000 passengers and 258 crew members to a new Earth called Homestead 2. And something goes wrong in the ship, and Chris Pratt's character, Jim Preston I think it was, wakes up and he is stranded on this spaceship for 90 years. It's a 120-year trip from Earth to Homestead 2, and he woke up way too early. And the story basically revolves around him kind of trying to decide if he should wake up this girl named Aurora and trying to figure out what he can do to pass the time, how to put himself back into hibernation, as they call it, which is basically kind of like a cryogenic kind of freezing process kind of thing, but they call it hibernation. And the movie was really good. I can understand why some people wouldn't think so. Like, on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has a 31% or something like that. But, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this movie. Like, I lost faith in movies, like modern movies, for a while. Like, any movie that I attempted to watch on the Fire Stick, the Amazon Fire Stick, if you guys don't know, any recent movie that I attempted to watch was not too good. And, if I was ever able to get to a theater and watch a movie, those movies were not too good. But Passengers blew me out of the water. Like, seriously. I went into this movie expecting it to be mediocre, just not that good, and just kind of average, you know? But it blew me away. Chris Pratt does a great job. The woman that plays Aurora did a great job. I can't remember her name right off the bat, but she did a great job. The actor that played Gus did a great job. Just everything was so great. But there is room for improvement, obviously. And I will touch upon that. But, I'm going to kind of be going over the different elements of the movie and everything. The story. As I explained with the story, it's extremely futuristic, like far out into the future. They are traveling to new worlds. There's these multiple different spaceships that are going to different planets, trying to colonize and expand humanity's reach in the galaxy, you know? And, these ships aren't just ordinary, like, spaceships. They are giant, massive, like, spaceship, space station, like, hybrid things. They have automated flying. There's, the hibernation pods. Like, if something breaks, it fixes itself. Like, this AI on this ship is so advanced that it just fixes anything that happens. But, as you see in the very beginning of the movie, there's a giant asteroid and is actually able to make it through the barrier that the ship has in front of it, and it damages the ship, and that's how Chris Pratt's character, Jim, wakes up. And, I thought this was kind of a cool concept, like, showing that even though this stuff is not meant to fail, like, in the movie, it makes it a point for you to know that, that these, hibernation chambers cannot fail. But you're so confused and scared because one of them did. Well, actually two in the movie. One was intentional, but two failed. Two of these pods that were said to never to fail, failed. And that's kind of what I liked about it. Just these people that ran these, like, expeditions to other worlds just being so bold and so, like, just so cocky to say, these will never fail, no matter what. And just knowing the scary feeling of being alone and knowing that these could potentially fail if the right things happen, you know? And that was a really scary thought to think. Just being awake and just being alone for 90 years and just knowing that one day you are going to die, and you're probably going to die alone. Unless somehow you can survive 90 years. I mean, I know it's possible, obviously, but these characters were in their 20s, you know, in the movie. So, they probably wouldn't live until the ship got to the planet. So that's like a really scary thought, just being alone for 90 years. Eventually, Chris Pratt's character, Jim, does wake up Aurora, and he gets a partner, but that goes very south sideways very quickly. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I'm not here to spoil the movie. Anyways, the story, I thought it was great. One minor flaw, though. The ship is kind of able to autopilot itself and kind of automate like what it does. There's a scene where the ship slingshots around a star, and it's like a red giant, and the ship just kind of is going towards it, but then it starts to move and it kind of comes around it and just kind of goes back on course, you know? And that was a really cool scene, but why didn't it do that with the giant meteor? Like, obviously red giants are not there forever. Eventually stars do blow up, and they can blow up very dramatically and just be gone within an instant. Like, how did the ship know that the red giant would be there, but not the asteroid? You know, like, I feel that it could have avoided that asteroid if it wanted to. So that was a little, like, convenient for the story. I didn't really like that. Like, it was fine once it happened, but I feel when the red giant scene came up where it was kind of going around the star, it kind of ruined its momentum a little bit, because I feel like at that point it could have avoided this asteroid, you know? So that was one little flaw that I kind of saw in it, and that kind of bugged me, but it wasn't terrible. The characters are very relatable. Jim, he was a funny guy. Pretty much, well, there's this cyborg / robot bartender that basically tells Jim, hey, you know, if you don't like your surroundings and your situation, then change it. Live your life how you want to live it. And Jim just ends up going to play like a Dance Dance Revolution clone, and like doing a dance battle against this hologram person, and he's watching movies, he's playing basketball. He had like a high score of 1,000 points to 0 from home against visitor. I mean, there was a cute, funny scene when Jim is showing Aurora like around the ship and kind of showing her what he's been doing for a year. And he pulls up that Dance Dance Revolution game, and all of the high scores, there's 100 high scores, and every single one of them is Jim, 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 Jim. It was great. That was a great scene. That was funny. It just shows how much he's perfected that game, and honestly, that's the way I'd be. I mean, I would be rocking that game eventually. I mean, eventually I'd get good at it, right? I mean, seriously. So, that was a funny scene. That was a good scene. I really liked the characters, how they interacted. I think that Chris Pratt and Aurora, well, Jim and Aurora, I guess, because I can't remember the actress's name. Jim and Aurora had a lot of chemistry. They worked well together, I think. They blended well together. They were a good, like, duo. And, when the character Gus came along, it even kind of made it seem like there can be friction in the situation, but Jim and Aurora just kind of have this thing where they're not going against each other. They're just flowing perfectly together. And I think that that was a really good thing to show, too. That contrast between maybe, like, two characters not getting along too well and kind of having their differences, and two characters that are just happy to be around each other, you know? Let's see. Anything else I want to talk about? The ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I really liked in the end where there was just this lush, like, kind of, like, foresty. I don't want to say forest, but there's not really another way to describe it. Like, he ends up planting a tree in the ship. You guys will see that. And by the end of the movie, there's all these, like, there's this great, like, fauna and just plant life, and the tree is all full grown from this little sprout, and it all just looks magnificent, and it looks gorgeous. Like, they did what the bartender said. The bartender's name was Arthur, by the way. Arthur basically told them to live life the way you want to live it, and just do what you want. Like, basically what he was saying, make life your own. And that's exactly what Jim and Aurora did, I feel like. And it was just a great way to end the movie. And the movie had so many good points, you know? Like, live life the way you want it. Live life and make life your own. It's your life. Life doesn't control you, you control life. And just the thing of, like, not feeling sorry for yourself. And the movie even touches upon, like, the thought of suicide. Like, when you're alone like that, like, should you commit suicide or not? Like, there was a very powerful scene with Chris Pratt. It had been almost a year on the Avalon, which is what the ship is called. It had been almost a year, and Jim's character is just standing in this bay where you can get in, like, a spacesuit and go out into space and everything. There's a tether that's attached to you and all that. Great little system, great scene. But he's just standing in this evacuation thing to where you can go out into space with this spacesuit on. He's just standing there, no spacesuit, anything. Like, he's just standing there. He has his hand on the lever, pulls it down, and all he has to do, push a button, and he's dead. He's just standing there, just with his hand hovering above the button, and he didn't press it, you know? Like, that was a extremely powerful scene, and I loved it. Like, it shows that even if things are at its worst, then you should still never even consider suicide. Like, I don't know, even when things are at its worst, guys, it can always get better, and I feel like the movie really pounded that to home, you know? Like, there could have been a scene where he pushes the button, he flies out into space, and somehow, like, something saves him, and he realizes, oh, I shouldn't do that. But no, he made the decision himself to not commit suicide, you know? And I think that's more powerful than him just getting saved by a mere coincidence, you know? I feel that that was extremely powerful, and I like that they included that scene, even though it was extremely hard to watch, because by this point you had seen what Jim was going through, you had seen what he's been doing and how alone he's been, and just how hard it would be to be alone. And I just feel that the scene was really well done. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this movie. I thought it was extremely good. I thought it was extremely well done. It had a lot of, like, morals and just points to the movie that you could really relate with, you know? And, it's a great watch. It gets really, really tense and, like, really heart-pounding towards the end, and it's just a great movie, guys. So, I really hope that all of you get the chance to see Passengers. Like I said, great movie. I really enjoyed it, and I think that you guys will too. So, anyway, guys, if you enjoyed my thoughts video, and you are going to definitely see this movie, then please be sure to leave a giant like. And remember to keep on gaming, stay amazing, and I will see you guys next time.